Welcome to the Beyond Press channel. Today we are doing a bit more informational video than usual. I'm going to talk about using gloves while using lathe or turning, or what you call this. I think it's using lathe. And I have been reading a lot of comments about using gloves while using lathe or milling machine or some other like power machines or drill or anything that involves electric motor and spinning parts, and not just on my videos but on many videos across the YouTube. And I think it's quite usual to say that you shouldn't use gloves when you are using lathe or milling machine or something else that involves spinning parts. And the idea behind that is that if this is spinning and I'm going to touch this with my gloves, they are going to stuck on this, and then I'm going to spin with this. Because the hand is quite sturdy, you are either gonna just rip your fingers off or then rip whole hand off or then spin with the thing. So it's not ideal situation. Of course, it's when you are like student on school, young and not very experienced, I think it's easier to not wear gloves, because if you make mistake and touch it, then the chances that you are going to spin with the thing is smaller without the gloves. But when you are doing some real work which involves like keys and oil and the coolant, on this machine the coolant is still quite good, but there is still probably all kind of nasty shit that you are not going to want in your bloodstream, and everything else is also dirty. So if you are wise enough to realize that you are not allowed to touch anything that moves while wearing gloves, or even without the gloves, it's also a bad idea, because they can be sharp or hot or anything like that. Then you can save yourself from many other harms, because you have of course these flying around, and many old machines like this don't have complete cover. They are just like this, that you are not going to be hit in the face, but they are flying all over the place. Like here where you operate the machine, they can fly. And yeah, I can do a bit of turning, and we can see that there is no need to touch any of these spinning parts. Quality is quite poor, so you are probably going to hurt it yourself even without the gloves, so it's not a very good idea at all. Yeah. And I'm not using coolant because it's going to make huge mess. I'm just lowered the speed so the cutting bit can handle it even without the coolant. So there was some points on why should you don't wear gloves and why maybe you should wear gloves. I personally usually wear gloves, and I made the whole video already about why you should wear gloves and publicity it and all that. But when reading the comments and thinking the thing a bit more, I decided that even if I use gloves, maybe quite many of you shouldn't use gloves, because I have quite heavy duty work usually, where is lot of stuff removed and lot of coolant used and quite rough conditions and big parts and big tools. But many of you are doing lathe work as a hobby with the small machine where all the levers are closer to the spinning part. So that's like a better situation not to be using gloves than my heavy duty industrial work. And this is the smallest machine. On the larger machines there is much less things that you can even do with your hands. You have to use the crane to place the parts in the machine and even for the tools. So that's a bit different. And I think there is also the aspect that I have been doing this over 10 years and have went through the school of using machines and stuff like that, and I know there are safe methods how you can stay out of the machine and don't need to get your hands close to anything that spins, but teaching all that through YouTube isn't possible. So because of that, it is also probably bad advice to say that you can wear gloves. So I think in the general suggestion should be don't to wear gloves, but on some professional conditions like on my work, I think it isn't that much more dangerous if you are knowing what you think. And even I take gloves sometimes off when I'm doing some kind of work with vial, finishing small parts, but I think also doing that kind of work itself is quite dangerous and you should avoid that even without the gloves. And I want to also make some points of other machines than just manual lathe. I think the CNC machine and the manual machine, the difference with the gloves, it isn't that big that people are thinking, because at least on my work, at the usual lathe work, you are just pulling the levers for a quite long time and not interfering with the part at all and have your shield down. And it's quite the same thing with the CNC machine, you just press some buttons. Of course you don't want to get your computer interface dirty. So when working with CNC machine, I use gloves when attaching the parts into the machine, and then I take them off when operating the control panel. And with manual machine, the levers are like the control panel, and doors are usually maybe not dirty, but there is maybe some stuff flying, so I keep the gloves on while operating the levers. But I think 99.9% of lathe work shouldn't involve anything close to that spinning part. It's just turning levers and changing and turning the part when the machine is switched off. And on the end of this video, I want to say that also the lathe is very dangerous machine always, even if you are completely naked. And the wearing or not wearing gloves is just one part of it. If you watch that work that I'm now doing, the part is about completely inside of the chuck, and if you touch that with gloves or without the gloves, you are going to end at least with the broken hand. And on this video I have my shield up because I'm filming this. Usually I have the shield always down, but you cannot really film through that with good quality, so this isn't good example either. And I think that the conversation on my earlier video was good, and I am sorry about removing all of that. I just felt that my video was bad advice and I should remove it, because then nobody gets bad advice from that and going to hurt himself. So I upload this now, and I hope that the conversation continues. And there was a lot of good points why you should not wear glass more than on my video. One good was also, for example, that if you trip down and fall onto your machine, you might like then grab on the spinning part, and that's true. And you should always have clear floor on front of your machine to avoid that. And I think falling is also one good reason why you should always keep your shield down. So if you are going to fall, you might be on the portion of the shield and just fall against that and not into the machine. But it's really dangerous job, so be careful. And I think I missed a lot of good points on that video, but let's continue this on the comment box and keep everybody safe. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.